Thank you very much. Distinguished speakers on the dais, dear friends and colleagues, it's a pleasure for me to participate for the second time in an India M2M and IoT forum. I remember a year ago I was in the same place, and I'm happy to be for the second time. And this time I really was very much interested in looking and talking to a few companies which displayed the solutions outside. And I'm not an expert, I'm not a specialist, but I have noticed a progress which has been made during the last 1 year even in a work of companies which are able to develop and to promote their very specific solutions related to smart cities. But let me congratulate the organizers for having brought together so many important speakers and exhibitors, and I'm glad that the European Union is able to provide support to this event. This year's event focuses on smart cities and villages, a topic which is very close to our heart and where we cooperate with India in a number of ways. And allow me to confess that for me a concept of smart city has been known for a long period of time, but the concept of smart village for me personally is something new. But I was really very much impressed last December when Commissioner for Transport from the European Union, Madame Violetta Bulc, visited India and met a number of ministers, including Minister Hardeep Singh, whom we are going to meet tonight. They discussed this issue, this concept of smart village, and it's something which really needs a lot of attention, and it has bright perspectives. And this is my appeal to developers, to companies, to look at this issue with high attention. But coming back to our cooperation between India and the European Union in all fields related to smart cities, allow me to give you a few examples and a few comments. First, in the last EU-India summit in New Delhi in October 2017, our leaders adopted a joint statement on a partnership for smart and sustainable urbanization. The aim of this partnership is to step up cooperation, among others, on modernizing urban infrastructure, developing smart cities in India, or promoting the new urban agenda of the UN. As I mentioned, in December 2017, European Commissioner for Transport visited India and had meetings with several Indian ministers to discuss the concrete implementation of our urbanization partnership. And the EU is impressed by India's ambitious urban and digital agenda and, of course, very much committed to implement the EU-India urbanization partnership. This is very important because both India and Europe, we share similar challenges and need similar solutions to ensure smart and sustainable urbanization. And the EU, this is my assessment and my point, the EU is a very good partner for developing cooperation in such fields like urbanization, because the EU can bring together its 28 member states, all of which have their own strengths, competences and technologies. The colleagues from member states are present here and will be present actively later today and tomorrow. We have with us here now Ambassador of Slovenia and his colleagues. In the afternoon, Ambassador of Finland will talk, and you can see that different countries can promote different solutions or to bring to the table different ideas. This is one of the strengths of the European Union. And the second one, the second point I would like to underline that we are not only talking about future standards and technical cooperation, and but we are acting as well in a very practical terms in financing certain concepts and projects. The European Investment Bank, which is one of the European Union institutions, is present here, or will be present here as well. And the European Investment Bank is one of the most important lender institutions in the world. And so far, the EIB has already committed some 2 billion euros of credits at favorable conditions for clean and smart projects in India. And the approach by the EIB is very broad, because it's very active in projects, or is ready to contribute to projects related to urban infrastructure, like in Bangalore, like in Lucknow Metro project, and so on, but as well very much interested in developing solutions for energy sector and for smart projects. And the third point I would like to make, and which is very important, I mentioned it to some companies outside, it's also of particular importance for that smart cities are built upon interoperable global standards. This allows for an integrated smart city management, seamless communications, and ensures cost-effective and citizen-friendly solutions. And this is extremely important, because as I have been in India more than 2 years, and I have been observing the development of Prime Minister Modi's concept of smart city, smart cities. And for me, as a person who is not competent on such technical issues, but my understanding is that one of the key challenges is how to unify approaches in the process of developing smart cities. If India is going to build 100 smart cities with the participation of hundreds of thousands of Indian companies, foreign companies, with the participation of third countries, I mean, an issue of standardization seems to be extremely important to avoid problems and to make all these systems operable. And in this context, this is my private comment as a citizen, it's very important, as everything is or will be digitalized, and the personal data or different type of data will be flying all around through clouds, through different systems. An issue of data adequacy, data security are extremely important. As I mentioned, as a citizen, I would be very happy if companies and solutions which will be put in place in the future take into account such issue. This is very important for all of us. And the next point I would like to make is that exactly related to this point, standardization. We have launched an EU-funded project which provides support to the cooperation of the Indian and European telecom standard bodies on emerging global ICT standards, not only standards related to smart cities, but global standards. ETSI and TSDSI work together as active members of the two leading international standardization initiatives, defining essential standards for smart cities and for the Internet of Things. Our cooperation project supports this work in priority areas agreed by stakeholders from the two sides: intelligent transport system and M2M communications, 5G, future networks, and security issues. Again, it's extremely important from my point of view as a consumer, as a citizen. I still remember a time when I was traveling from Brussels to Korea or to Japan a few years back. I needed to rent a completely different mobile to be under operation there. That's why I see it, and it was underlined by our leaders during the summit last October. Standardization at the global level is extremely important for all of us. That's why we rely very much on cooperation, and we try to develop such type of cooperation with India as much as possible to avoid the situation that in the future we will build not compatible markets. It's important for us, the citizens, and important for our companies. And as the last point, allow me to highlight a few examples of some coming events. We, as the European Union, the delegation of the European Union, is going to organize jointly under the cooperation projects by eminent Indian and European organizations. A series of tutorials for developers of applications will be held from 12th until the 19th of February in New Delhi, Hyderabad, Bangalore, and Chandigarh. There will also be a hackathon at the Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore on 15-16 February, focusing on smart city relevant solutions. These events are about familiarizing innovative, mostly young, developers from startups and academia with the interoperable one M2M platform for smart cities. It means that I have mentioned a number of directions in EU-India cooperation, and as well I wanted to give you some examples that we are trying to be result-oriented and very practical one. That's why I invite developers, startups, and other interested parties to participate in our events, which, as I mentioned, are organized under EU-India projects with close cooperation or jointly with our reliable Indian partners. Let me conclude by reaffirming that the European Union is committed to strengthen cooperation with our strategic partner country, India, in a wide range of fields, and smart urbanization is definitely one of them. And I'm really happy that an Indian minister, Mr. Hardip Singh, who is responsible for urban development, is so committed and so devoted to implement ambitious India's plan, and he is so much ready to cooperate with the European Union in many sectors, what was very much visible during a visit of Commissioner Bulc and during her meeting with Mr. Hardip Singh. I'm looking forward to continued discussions on practicalities with him later tonight. Thank you very much.